All right, back with another one. Today we are undercover today because it is raining outside, so I'll be doing this one. I just want to discuss real fast. I know a lot of the posts recently, as of recent, have been, uh, fuel a lot of discussions because it's about the deception that we see going on all around us. And I know that isn't the message that a lot of people need to hear. But remember, we're out to get the sick, not the healed. So some of the deception that is used by showing, by exposing it, that's how we can also lead people to Christ. So remember, we don't all come to Christ the same way. For myself, it was congressional inquiries and hearings about UAPs that led me to Christ. So I want to read this. Ephesians 5:11 to 14 have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. It is shameful even to mention what is disobedient to do in secret. But everything exposed by light becomes visible, and everything that is illuminated becomes a light. That's why it said, "Wake up, sleeper, rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you." So this is why we're called to expose darkness. So that's what I'm doing. Whether people like it or not, that's just what this is what my ministry is to teach and to expose darkness. There's other ministries out there that are there to do a lot of different things, but with my resources, this is what I'm able to do, and this is what God called me to do. So it's what I will do. But again, spiritual warfare, a little bit further back. So we first learn about Ephesians 5. So in Ephesians 6:10 to 18 is about spiritual warfare, and that's where we're to understand that we're not going against people. So people can be mean to you. That's why you're supposed to love your enemy, because those people are being used by Satan to cause disturbance or pain, anguish in your life. Remember, steal, kill, and destroy is what Satan and his minions are trying to do. So they will use other people who aren't followers of the Most High, or children of God, and use them to attack you. So we have to remember that. But even when you are being attacked, sometimes by friends and family, co-workers, or other people, you have to remember it's not them that's attacking. It's not that person. It's not that fleshly tent. It's the spiritual warfare going on behind it. That's why we're supposed to bless our enemies. We're supposed to pray for them, and not to seek revenge. So the point of this video is to equip you to fight spiritual warfare. And often I see a lot of books and videos, and it's from people who used to be in the occult, or used to call themselves witches and warlocks, and they're trying to teach you spiritual warfare. It's important to note that these people may be saved, or maybe born again, or at least they claim to be. But remember, we judge righteously, judge by using the Word of God, and we know that some of the things that they talk about, these prayers and chants and bindings and things they do, they aren't written in the Bible. So they came from man. Romans 3:4 says, "Every man's a liar, let the Word of God be true." So these came from a man, and where did that man, or men or women get those from? So if it's not taught in the Bible, Galatians 1:8 says it's even if an angel comes and preaches another gospel than this, they're accursed. Revelation 22:18 says nothing added, right? So stick with what's in the Bible. And how do we what are some verses in the Bible that are spiritual warfare that can help us? What I recommend doing is using what David did. This is something my uncle had just suggested as well. So King David, who is shepherd boy, slayed Goliath, became the king. Murdered one of his best commanders because he slept with his wife Bathsheba, and then that son died, and then he had another son, Solomon. So we know that he still had a heart for God, and God had a heart for him, even after he messed up. So that's how we know we can mess up and be forgiven. But what I recommend doing is using David's prayers to God. So Psalm 3:1-3. "Lord, how many of my foes, how many will rise up against me? Many are saying to me, but God will not deliver him. But you, Lord, are a shield around me, my glory, head high. So that's David again. You can hear the Lord's thunder in the background. Psalm 7, 1-2. Lord my God, I take refuge in you. Save and deliver me from all who pursue me, or they will tear me apart like a lion and rip me to pieces with no one to rescue me. So again, spiritual warfare. If you're being attacked, these are the prayers that you need to pray. Pray for your enemy. Pray for their, pray for their blessing. Pray for them to be healed, whatever spiritual afflictions they have, whatever help they need. Ask God to soften their heart and open their eyes, so that they can see Him and glorify Him. That's how I recommend you pray for your enemies. Psalm 17, 6-9. I call on you, my God. You answer. You will answer me. Turn your ear to me and hear my prayer. Show me the wonders of your great love. You who save by your right hand those who take refuge in you from their foes. Keep me as the apple of your eye. Hide me in the shadow of your wings from the wicked who are out to destroy me, from my mortal enemies who surround me. Psalms 18, 3-6. I called the Lord who is worthy of praise, and I have been saved from my enemies. The cords of death entangled me, the torrents of destruction overwhelmed me. The cords of the grave coiled around me, and the snares of death confronted me. In my distress I called on the Lord. I cried out to my God for help. From His temple I heard my voice. My cry came before Him into His ears. So God will hear your prayers. Just remember in Daniel, when the angel was trying to get to Daniel, he had to fight through spiritual warfare. So the angel actually had to fight a demonic presence of being Prince of Persia to get to him. So remember that. Psalm 25, 6-20. Turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am lonely and afflicted. Reveal the troubles of my heart, free from my anguish. Look at my affliction and my distress, and take away all my sins. See how numerous are my enemies, and how fiercely they hate me. Guard my life and rescue me. Do not let me be put to shame, for I take refuge in you. Psalms 143, 9-12. Rescue me from my enemies, Lord, for I hide myself into you. Teach me to do your will, for you are my God. May your good spirit lead me on the level ground. For your name's sake, Lord, preserve my life. In your righteousness, bring me out of trouble. In your unfailing love, silence my enemies. Destroy all my foes, for I am your servant. So again, my recommendation if you're fighting a spiritual warfare is do what Jesus did, right? So 40 days, 40 nights fasting. The first thing Satan tempted him with was food. We talked about food fasts before, so it's one of the best spiritual warfare tools you could do is a food fast. Again, not your doctor. You should consult them if you have one and trust them. But a food fast is the best fast. That's one of the best ways to worship God is through a food fast. Obviously, don't do it if you're having to do a hard manual labor job the next day. It's probably not going to be good, or during the day. But keep all those things in mind and pray for discernment about them. But remember, Jesus, when Satan told him to turn the rocks into bread, he responded with the Word of God. So remember that. It's important to respond with that. So spiritual warfare, like I said before, if I'm praising God, I give that praise out loud. If I'm asking God for help, or if I'm asking, praying for things specifically, or discernment of stuff, remember that God is omnipresent. He can hear, He can see and hear your thoughts, right? The enemy cannot. So I don't verbally say out loud things that I wouldn't want my enemy to know. So when I pray to God about things most concerning me, I would recite these prayers that David gives you, right? That God, gave through David. I would recite those. If you're, feel like you're under attack from people via spiritual warfare, but that's what I would do. And then, as always, fasting and prayer. Remember, that's how Jesus told the disciples. That's why they couldn't cast out that one demon when Jesus showed up. So with that, rain's getting pretty bad, but I appreciate you following through. If you could share that. The picture in the very beginning, I would appreciate that. They're shadow banning that, so please do.